ba? Optimum pride. What's up, dudes? This is your resident DIYer, Sela, and this is Do It Yourself, where we build practical projects without breaking the bank. Yung ba kayo nakasubscribe? Well, subscribe now and hit the bell icon beside it para naman lagi kayo updated sa aming mga future uploads, di ba? Pinalaki kasi kami ng magulang namin na dapat ang bahay lagi maaliwalas, walang kalat, ganyan-ganyan. And growing up, na-realize namin magkakapatid na dapat minamaximize natin yung space natin sa bahay para mas may pagkakataon tayo mailagay yung mga iba nating gamit sa mga space na yon at hindi lang basta-basta isisiksik mo saan, diba? Ayun kasi minsan yung tendency natin kapag wala tayong maisip na mapaglagyan. Kaya naman today, meron tayong gagawin na shelves para naman magkaroon tayo ng more spaces sa bahay at syempre ma-maximize yung ating mga lalagyanan, di ba? Kaya naman nakahanap tayo ng isang expert na karpintero at hindi lang siya karpintero special karpintero siya, guys. Kaya naman kilalanin natin siya at puntahan natin. Tara na! Yes, nandito tayo sa workshop ng isang kilalang DIYer, woodworker, and self-taught karpintero, Vinci, o mas kilala bilang Vinchero Karpintero.
Hi, Sela.
Hello, Sir Vinci. Kamusta po kayo?
Good, good. Excited for today's build.
Bakit niyo po napili yung pangalang Vinchero Karpintero?
So, actually, ever since I was a kid, mahilig na ako gumawa ng arts and crafts. Ngayon, ang kantsaw sa akin ng mga kaibigan ko, parang nag-aral pa ako kung magkakakarpintero lang ako. So, it used to be an insult, and then now parang we turned it into a brand. So, yun. And that's also part of what we're trying to do, is we're trying to parang elevate the vocation of carpentry.
Oh, yun pala yung history nun, sir. Ano yung first DIY na nagawa niyo po?
One of the things na I really enjoyed was playing poker in yung casino style na table, yung may armrest talaga. And so I saw some plans in the internet, wala pang Facebook nun, and yun, I downloaded the plans and I followed the build, and that was my first big project.
Bongga, ang creative pala ni Sir Vinci. Sana all ganun din naman, di ba? Sir, anong mga klaseng shelves po yung pwedeng gawin?
Yeah, so there are all sorts of types of shelves. No? I think ang pinaka-uso is the floating shelf. Whatever structure that's supporting that shelf is hidden from view. Shelf made with flanges or pipe flanges. Parang industrial siya. Uso rin yun. The most common one is the L-bracket supported shelf, where you buy hardware from any big box store. Custom-made L-bracket, so pwede rin mag-welding. And then there's also the French cleat shelf, which is actually a very strong method of hanging shelves and cabinets for that matter.
Yun, guys. Super dami pa natin matutunan today. Kasi ako, sir, ang alam ko lang is shelves.
So out of those 5 shelves na I talked about, we're going to do 2. Oo. Are you up to the challenge, Sela?
Sir, kahit 10 pa yan. Okay. Pero yes, sir. Ready po ako.
Alright.
So, ayun, Sir Vinci. Sa gagawin po nating build today, ano po yung mga kailangan nating materials?
So this floating shelf project we're going to build, actually super simple lang siya. So all you need is 2x2 or 2x2, and the reason why it's called actually 2x2 is it's 2 inches by 2 inches.
Oh!
Kaya 2x2 tawag.
Okay po.
And then we need a flat piece of wood, 1x3, 1x4. So we
Hindi
just
po siya 1x3. Ay, na-joke lang po yan. Okay.
But this is called keyhole hangers.
Okay po.
Kasi pansin mo yung butas niya mukha siyang keyhole. This is what's going to support our floating shelf.
Nakasabit po sa wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
After that, we need a few screws. And that's pretty much it.
Sir, may gagamitin po ba tayong mga power tools sa ating build today?
For the cutting, magmamano-mano tayo. You're going to use this Japanese pull saw to cut the 2x2. And then for the keyhole hangers, we are going to use a trim router to route a slot sa 2x2 natin.
Sir Vinci, meron po ba kayong pwedeng i-share sa mga dude natin na para hindi tayo ma-aksidente and all?
Right, so we're gonna practice the usual safety precautions. So you're using your apron to protect our clothing, but more importantly, we'll protect our eyes, our ears, and our lungs. So we'll wear protective glasses, we'll wear ear protection, and we'll wear a mask whenever necessary.
So mga dude, kailangan talaga natin pahalagahan ang ating safety guidelines kasi syempre, kailangan natin pahalagahan itong mga kamay natin, di ba, sir? And disclaimer lang po, meron po kaming safety officer sa aming set. So in case na may mangyari, hindi maganda, may hasagip po agad sa atin. Okay? Pero for sure, wala naman mangyayari sa akin masama kasi nandito si Sir Vinci, di ba? So sir, let's go!
Okay, game. So we're going to cut yung 2x2 natin, and we're going to make it the same length as this. Okay. Marunong ka gumamit ng pulso?
Hindi pa po, sir. Okay. Sir Vinci, bakit po lahat ng side may mark?
So the idea is kasi, because mano-mano tayo, and we're using a pulso, we want to make sure na yung cut natin is following the line para pantay siya. Otherwise, baka patagilid yung hiwa natin.
Yes po.
Hindi maganda.
Oh! See, kaya naman pala, sir. Okay.
Okay, next, we're going to cut this para meron tayong konting ledge. We'll cut this into a desirable thickness. I think about 3 inches is what we want. Okay?
Okay po.
So let's set up the table saw and we'll cut it. Just lean back.
O, diba? Optimum pride. Ang bigat na putos. Kita nyo ba yun, mga viewers? Kaya.
Kaya lang?
Sir, ano po ulit tong kinakabit nyo?
So what we're attaching is called a blade guard.
Blade guard.
So basically, pag sinut natin siya, you'll notice na it covers the entire blade. What it does is para lang siyang physical reminder na not to get your fingers anywhere near. As much as possible, you want to keep the blade guard on, but there are some cuts on the table saw where you cannot have a blade guard. You have to remove it.
Yes po.
But for the cuts we're making today, we can do it all with the blade guard.
Guys, may blade guard tayo para walang maubos sa ating kamay, okay? Sir, nagawa natin!
Yes.
Di naman po pala siya gano'n nakakatakot eh.
So now we have this piece, and then we have this piece, and then that's gonna be our floating shelf. So now, glue natin ngayon this piece to this piece.
So, madami po ito, no, sir?
Just enough. Next step, we'll make sure to attach screws para we can start moving it around na. Okay?
Okay, sir.
So now we can move it, and it's already there. So the
Yes.
glue will dry while the screw holds it together.
Ang dami niyang protection and security.
Next step is we have to make slots for our keyhole hangers. around the corners para mas pogi naman yung floating
Yes
shelf natin. Okay, so we'll attach the rounding corner bit. So the next step we're going to do now is we're going to sand it, and then we're going to apply a finish, and then we're done.
Sir, sasand natin siya kahit may mga naka-attach na.
Hindi, so dahil yan, hindi yan makikita. Ang isasand lang natin yung harap. There you go.
Smooth na rin.
We're ready for some lacquer. So yung next step natin is we're going to apply some lacquer finish to this, and then that's it, we're done.
Ilang coats po, sir, yung kailangan?
So ideally, you always want to do at least 2 coats. You can do more if you want, but minimum I'd say 2 coats.
2 coats. So, 2 coats po tayo ngayon.
Yes. So when this dries, we do 1 more coat and then the project's done.
So, mga dude, since wala tayong actual wall, this thing right here will act as a wall kung saan natin ikakabit ng ating nagawang shelf.
I'll show you a trick to make sure na every time you need to hang shelves, parating sakto yung butas.
Hack.
Now
Okay.
we want to make sure it's level, so we'll get the level and we'll make sure this is level before we actually drill the holes. So now that you've attached this, pwede mo na siya actually hilain.
Hilahin na natin, sir. Uy.
Yan. And if we did it right, sakto dapat to.
Sana sakto. Ayun! Kitang-kita naman sobrang sakto, oh. So, ayun, Sir Vinci. All done na po tayo?
Well, we're done with this shelf, but we're doing just 1 more. And believe it or not, it's even simpler than this one. Okay, so for this last shelf, all you need is a screwdriver or impact driver, level, and the following materials. So this is called a threaded flange. A flange is very similar to what people use for curtain rods or your shower curtain. The difference lang nito is threaded yung loob. And the reason why we need it threaded is because we're using 7-inch threaded GI pipe. So, yung pipe na to, meron siyang threads and it screws into this.
Oo, okay.
And ito ang hahawak sa shelf natin.
Okay po.
Okay? So, you also need a plank of wood. This is just an old recycled piece of a shelf that I already pre-cut. So the next step is kakabit natin dito sa mock-up wall natin. Sela, if I could just ask you to screw this into our threaded flange.
Yes po.
And then also cover it with that cap. So the idea is one side goes here, the other side goes there, and then our shelf just sits on top.
Oh, okay po.
That's it.
Simple lang, sir.
Yeah.
Kakabit lang to, tapos na.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. So napatong natin siya. Yan.
Tada!
That's it. Now if you don't expect na babanggain siya, this is actually already fine. But if you're afraid na baka matamaan siya at
Opo.
malaglag, there's what's called a pipe clamp that you can attach underneath. Type where both sides meron siyang may screw, and there's a single type. This is a 3/4 inch pipe clamp, which is perfect for our pipe. So pwede natin siya ikabit sa ilalim.
Okay po.
Once ikabit mo siya,
So, hindi na po yung gagalaw. Ah, okay.
screw it underneath, and then hindi na siya gagawin.
Okay. Alright, Sir Vinci, ito na po ating, product reveal. Ano ba masasabi niyo sa performance ng paggawa natin ng shelf today?
No, like I said, I think it's pretty easy. No, this one is just assembly, and this one is pretty simple. It's a floating shelf for light items. Ikaw, did you learn something?
Yes, of course po, sir. Kasi na-realize ko na para talagang saktong-sakto siya, dapat marunong kang magtansya. Hindi lang pagtansya, dapat accurate talaga. Tapos, dapat critical ka when it comes to, you know, sir, sa mga pag-screw.
Right.
Diba? Kasi mamaya sablay, diba? At para hindi siya nauga, no, sir?
Yeah.
Siyempre, pasasalamatan natin si Sir Vinci sa pag-guide sa atin today.
Yeah, thank you. And magpa-plug ako ng channel.
Of course, sir!
Yeah,
The floor is yours.
So please subscribe to my channel. I have a YouTube and Facebook channel. It's called Vinchero Karpintero.
Yan naman mga dude, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon para naman hindi kayo malagpasan ang aming mga future uploads. And of course, kung gusto niyo pong makakita ng mga ibang projects sa channel na to, just comment down below. And kung gusto niyo din po ipakita ang mga projects niyo sa buong mundo, just use the hashtag #DoItYourself and you may get the chance to be featured in this show. Once again, this is Sela, your resident DIYer, and this is Do It Yourself. Bye, dudes!